Victorian country town of Moe hits the headlines.
Jaidyn Leski vanished from a home in Moe more than 2 weeks ago.
The heartbroken mother of Jaidyn Leski,
the man who was looking after the child.
babysitter Gregg. Police began an extensive search of nearby grassland but found no clues to the little boy's disappearance.
It's where Jaidyn Leski, a 13-month-old toddler, goes missing.
After 17 days of nothing, the chances of finding Jaidyn alive now are very, very remote.
What follows is a murder investigation unlike any other, which begins with a bizarre attack using a pig's head and ends with the arrest and trial of Gregg, the little boy's babysitter.
Okay, he's got him. I just want him back.
Nearly all with a role to play in this case will feel scorched and brutally exposed in the relentless and intense reporting by the media. Lives and relationships will be openly judged and their working-class environment scrutinised.
But a secret recording by the Police Underworld Task Force in which Gregg comments on the difference between accidental death and murder. As Rachel Rollo reports, the coroner has ordered him to appear at the hearing.
Michael Rafter's client, Gregg didn't appear at court, but he was, as usual, the centre of attention. A phone conversation between the 36-year-old and Stephen Venyman, the brother of alleged underworld hitman Benji, was played to the coronial inquest. He rang Venyman concerned that a woman called Roberta thought he did do it. What about when you tormented that kid? That was different. It was a long time ago. Well, why was that different? You dropped that car on it. No, I'm telling you now, there's a big difference from that and murder. That, for a start, that's accidental death.
It's really a conversation you can read in a number of ways, and he's certainly not saying that he was aware that it was an accidental death.
Little pig's head through his window. Just make him leave my sister alone a little bit, been hassling her out for a while.
During an interview, Kenny said, I'll use Kenny's words to as far as I can, my heart was pumping through me chest. I launched the pig's head, and next morning I'd come round the corner and there's effing coppers everywhere. And I thought to myself, you got to be effing joking, don't you? All that's for an effing pig's head.
Roland Legg's team decided there was no evidence anyone had entered Gregg house to take Jaidyn. They reached that conclusion even though 2 windows had been smashed in the attack. The story is making front-page news. The media continued to be irresistibly drawn to the case and its cast of characters. Gregg and Melinda, Kenny Penfold and his sister Yvonne, and their tangled relationships, which saw Kenny and his crew throw a pig's head at Gregg's house late in the night, the same night little Jaidyn Leski disappeared.
We're talking 6 days ago, and probably one of the most biggest events that's happened in your life, the disappearance of this child.
That's what I mean, you got to remember, I'm under pressure too.
He later said he was simply exhausted.
What have you done to Jaidyn?
I haven't done anything with Jaidyn.
After a month of digging, Roland Legg and his investigative team were convinced of Gregg's guilt. But the police case was entirely circumstantial. There was no one piece of conclusive evidence and
had a broken arm which had been splintered in some form, just using a piece of wood and a bandage wrapped around that, splinting the arm.
And in your opinion, what would it take to have a break like this?
A blow of some sort, a direct blow to that region.
There was also a head injury. How significant was that?
That was quite significant.
Do you believe that was the cause of death?
Yes.
This is not an accident?
I don't believe so, no.
And therefore, in your opinion, this child was murdered?
Yes.
You felt you knew instantly it was related to Yvonne and Kenny Penfold?
Yeah, well,
no other, trouble anywhere else except just from her and the police.
You chose still not to seek their help?
Not for them fucking mutts.
The police say that a person couldn't have climbed through the window, the broken window. There was not enough room. What do you say about that?
Absolute bullshit. You can see, like in the pictures, it was like a 2 metre by 1 metre, hole through glass and been smashed, right down to like the window sort of frame in some places,
Do you believe that the police focused only on you, that you were their target always and no one else was ever considered?
Yes, 100%.
And why do you think that was the case?
Well, I was the, only one to say that I seen him, and I was the last to see him. They took my car, they forensicked it,
There was no forensic evidence to show you'd been to the dam, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Can you explain how you had money that was considered wet under your mattress and a wet wallet?
My car leaked water, and because I had you crawl under the car sort of thing, it was like my wallet was in the back, and I just threw it in the, front floor of the car, which was wet.
How did you feel then when Jaidyn's body was found in the dam?
Mm-hmm.
What was your reaction?
Just anger and pain, and I was crying. I don't know. Yeah, it's just like, who could do something like that,
And that is the question. Who could do something like that?
A sick person, someone maybe iced out or something like drugged out. Somebody with fucking problems.
After 16 months behind bars and accused of murdering a helpless child, Gregg Domisevich emerged from the Supreme Court free to go home to his mum.
On one of the state's most high-profile murder investigations. But a lawyer for acquitted babysitter Gregg Domisevich says a reward could help solve the enduring mystery. Jaiden Leski's murder remains unsolved, but the toddler's grandmother says in her eyes the case is closed.
So sad to think that little boy didn't get to grow up, but having a court case and all that, it's not going to bring him back.
Police have confirmed the investigation has been shelved and a reward will not be offered. The 14-month-old vanished while being babysat by Gregg Domisevich, the boyfriend of Jaidyn's mother, Melinda Williams. After one of the state's largest searches, his body was found floating at nearby Blue Rock Dam 6 months later. Domisevich was charged with murder but acquitted, a coroner later finding he contributed to the boy's death. Roland Legg led the homicide investigation.
Well, the jury found Mr. Domisevich not guilty. We had no other suspects.
But Domisevich's former lawyer says police had tunnel vision.
It was really just a witch hunt, trying to pin the killing on Domisevich.
And says a reward could flush out fresh information.
Somebody may well come forward.
While residents here in Moe have painful memories of the case, some still want investigations to continue. But others say it's just a lost cause.
You'll never find out what really happened. Only the people involved will ever know.
It's pointless. It's just stress for our family that we don't need to go through.
Emily Rice, 10 News.